Is this any good considering you can basically get this for the price of a Chipotle bowl? So let's review it and find out. What's good, guys? Hunter here and welcome back to the channel where I upload weekly fragrance content, so you know what to do. Hit the subscribe button down below and also make sure to follow me over on my Instagram page. So today we are reviewing a fragrance from the house of Lattafa, which recently I've been a big fan of. I've actually reviewed Assad and Homme, which are probably the two most popular from this house. But today I came across this cheapie at my local rack store. I was pretty much just browsing around TJ Maxx and I have heard about Lattafa's hitting like Burlington, Marshalls, TJ Maxx, and I finally found Ramz Silver, which I think that's how you pronounce it. It's either Ramz or Ramz. Either way, it's kind of a ridiculous name, and also this bottle is so tacky. I can't wait to show you guys this thing. The kind of bottle I just put in the corner and hide, to be honest. If you didn't know though, this is cloning Jean-Paul Gaultier's Ultra Malt, which is a very sweet, bubblegummy, kind of clubbing style fragrance. And it's pretty much going head to head with Offman's 9 PM, which I also do own and recently reviewed, since they are both clones of Ultra Malt. And it's crazy too, because 9 PM is a cheap fragrance, but you can get this for even half the price you'll pay for 9 PM, which is insane. Well, let's go with some information now. This was launched in 2021, I believe a year after Offman launched 9 PM. As far as the retail price, only size these ugly bottles come in, which is the 100 ml, is going to run you anywhere from 15 bucks to 20 bucks, which is incredible. So trust me, I wasn't lying when I said you can get this for the price of a Chipotle bowl. As long as you maybe add some guacamole and a few extras to your bowl, you basically can get this for the price of that, which is insane. The concentration with this bad boy is an eau de parfum, so you are actually getting a decently concentrated fragrance for the price as well, which is always a bonus. For the perfumer, obviously nobody is listed. That's usually the case with these Middle Eastern brands like Offman, Lattafa, etc. They never mention who made it. And honestly, I wouldn't want to mention my name either associated with this fragrance if I created it. With all the information out of the way, let's look at the packaging and presentation you're going to get with Ramz Silver by Lattafa. All right, take a look at the box, which I don't know what's going on with this box. I believe that is a fingerprint on the background there. And it has some weird words like touch, admire, wish, status, hot, wish. Just a very, very tacky presentation with the box. Of course, Ramz Lattafa Eau de Parfum. On the bottom, you will have your barcode and batch code to authenticate your product and see when it was produced. On the back, as well as some of your information and ingredients, and nothing really on top besides the Lattafa logo. Let's look at the bottle now. So take a look at the bottle, which I have to say, this is probably the ugliest bottle I have in my collection. I'm probably going to hide this thing behind a few other bottles because it's that embarrassing. As far as the front, it comes in this matte black, but it has these words all embossed into the glass as well. Just weird words like love, you and me, wish, hot, touch, cool. You got a heart and a star. I don't know who came up with this artwork, guys, but I need to talk to him because this is hideous. Of course, you have the Lattafa in probably Arabic and then Ramz Lattafa. On the top, nothing really. On the bottom, you do have your sticker. This cap is one of the cheapest lightweight plastic caps I've ever held. And look at that attention to detail there, unfinished. But it does actually hold in pretty snugly at least, which is always good. In the top, you have pear, lavender, bergamot, and mint. In the mid, you have cardamom and sage. In the base, you have vanilla, amber, musk, and patchouli. And this will be classified as a sweet fruity. So let's spray this and test out these atomizers. Terrible atomizer, basically just as cheap as the bottle. So I wasn't really expecting anything more than that. So let's go ahead and remind myself of Ramz Silver by Lattafa. I do want to mention I don't own a bottle of Ultra Malt to compare these two side by side, but I have smelled it. I know the scent profile and I have a few clones, and this is definitely going in that Ultra Malt direction without a doubt. Because in the opening, you are going to get this very fresh, fruity pear that's very sweet, along with the aromatic lavender that's kind of powdery. It's almost more like a powdery lavender that I'm picking up on. It's lightly spicy. You also get this mint in the background as well, just giving it an uplifting, kind of refreshing tone to the opening, along with the fruitiness and the aromatic qualities. And I do also want to say that this is, as far as the note breakdown goes, closer to Ultra Malt than 9 PM is, which 9 PM is very similar to Ultra Malt, but it kind of goes in its own direction with that apple note. However, Ultra Malt is obviously known for the pear, lavender, and mint, and that's exactly what you're going to get in the opening of this. So I guess if you actually wanted a very close clone to Ultra Malt, this is probably the better route to go over 9 PM. I'm not saying I prefer this over 9 PM because I actually don't. I think 9 PM is the better fragrance. It's much smoother and higher quality. but it is a little bit more expensive. I think you can get that for around 40 bucks. This is around $20. Now, as you start making our way into the mid, which comes very quick, like almost you blink your eyes and you're into the mid already with this fragrance, you are going to get that spicy cardamom note that just adds a nice sexiness to the composition. And that's kind of what this fragrance is supposed to do. It's supposed to be like a clubbing, sexy, kind of bad boy scent profile is what I get with Ultramall as well as all of its clones. So no different with this. It's a bubblegum sweet, fruity, sexy fragrance. But when you make your way into the base of this is where it actually takes a turn, in my opinion. Because in the base, you're obviously going to get the vanilla, but it's a very flat, basic, generic vanilla that I'm getting from this. It doesn't smell high quality at all, but I guess I'm kind of expecting that for the price. But you also get a very earthiness in the base of this, and that's coming from the amber, musk, and patchouli, which is all three very earthy notes. And for some reason, it kind of smells a little bit old school, which I don't really remember from Ultramall and definitely not from 9 p.m. So this is a little bit different once it makes its way into the full base. So maybe if you tried Ultramall, you tried 9 p.m. and you thought maybe it was a little bit too youthful for you, if you are a little bit more mature, then this might be more up your alley. And it's crazy too, because this was my scent of the day today. And I even had a person comment on it, ask me what I was wearing. She said she liked it, but then she said it kind of has this old school vibe. And I was like, oh my gosh, you actually get that too? So I thought the same exact thing when I picked this up and first sprayed it. And when it sat for maybe an hour, I was like, wow, this smells very old school. Almost like oak moss, but there's no oak moss listed in the note breakdown. At the end of the day, I do love like earthy patchouli. I love musky fragrances. I love oak moss fragrances and those kind of old school genre fragrances. So it's not necessarily a bad thing, but just be warned, it is a little bit different than what you're gonna expect. So for the best seasons, if you decide to pick this cheapie up, if you're at like a rack store and you come across it, or I'll leave a link in the video as well, but the best season to rock it is spring, fall, and winter, primarily the colder months, obviously being a sweet fragrance. This is not something I would want to wear in the summer because it could become way too cloying and kind of thick. So spring evenings, all year round in the fall, all year round in the winter is going to be perfect for Ramz Silver. For occasion, you're obviously going to expect this to be a casual fragrance, which it is. This is the kind of dumbery, sweet fragrance you spray on if you're just running errands. Maybe going on a date if you're taking her to like McDonald's or something. Nah, I'm joking with you guys. But yeah, this isn't something that you really want to wear to like a nice kind of dinner or a restaurant when you're dressing up. It's just very, very casual. Your date might like it because it is sweet and sexy, but there's much better fragrances out there for the money. But if you are on a very, very tight budget of around like $20 max on a fragrance, I would say pick it up, especially if you come across it. For gender, this is actually a very masculine leaning fragrance, just like Ultramall, just kind of like 9 p.m. This one even more masculine than those two because of that base. Like I said earlier, I couldn't really imagine a woman wearing this. At least if I was picturing my girlfriend or something, nah, I would never want my girlfriend to smell like this. That's just my personal opinion. Of course, if you are a woman watching this, you love sweet fragrances, then check it out. You can wear it whatever you want. For age groups, this is actually versatile because it has that playful character to it, especially in the opening and mid. It also has that mature dry down, so it does lean a little bit more of that gentleman side. But I could actually see this maybe being a perfect teenager fragrance if you just want a fragrance to go to school, things like that, and obviously you don't have a lot of money. You're probably using your parents' money, and you might be like shopping at like TJ Maxx, Marshalls, Burlington, or whatever, and you're like, hey, I want a fragrance. You come across this. I think it would be suited for you good. But also an older guy can rock this as well. So it's pretty versatile when it comes to age groups. Wrapping the review off talking on the performance, I have heard a few people say that this is a beast mode fragrance. I was wearing, I was like, wow, I'm really let down by the performance from this stuff. Even though I really didn't have high expectations to begin with, but still after hearing the rumors and stuff like that, that this fragrance performs, I guess I was just kind of going nose blind because remember when I said earlier I had a compliment about this fragrance that the girl said it smelled good and a little bit more old school. I was actually around the 8-hour mark after applying it, believe it or not. So I was just going through the day today like, wow, this fragrance is not performing. I can't really smell it, but I guess I might have just went nose blind to it fairly quick. So I would say about average performance you're gonna get with this. It's certainly not beast mode, but you are gonna get around that 8-hour longevity mark, which is very respectable, especially for the price, because there's fragrances out there you spend $400 on that may perform for 4 hours. So even though it doesn't smell high quality, it is very affordable. It's sweet, it's sexy, it's kind of versatile, and it performs decently. You really can't go wrong with if you have a $15 bill you want to go spend. Even though they don't make $15 bills, but you know what I mean. And for projection, I would say it's about average. You're going to get that moderate projection with this one, meaning it's not like a soft projection where it's just like very close to your scent bubble. but it's also not a loud projector where it's going to fill up an entire room. But I will say people maybe within an arm's length or a couple feet away from you will be able to detect this stuff, especially if you're walking around, moving around, got that sillage and the trail behind you. And if your skin heats up, this stuff's gonna shine good off of your skin. So really no complaints with the performance, even though I thought at first I was gonna bash the performance, but that is probably the best thing going for this fragrance, believe it or not. I'm not gonna lie, after getting this bottle and feeling the quality of it, the price you can get it for, I'm kind of looking at Lattafa a little bit different now, which is a shame because like Homme and Assad are decent bottles. They smell a little bit better quality. I don't know if this is just part of like their lower end line or what's going on, because you're not going to really find Assad or Homme at the rack store. So maybe Lattafa just trying to like push these through the rack stores, sell them, get them off the shelves, etc. But it's a very cheap feeling fragrance and cheap smelling fragrance at the end of the day. Hey, not everybody wants a very natural, high quality fragrance, so I guess it has its place. But that's going to do it for my review of Lattafa Ramz Silver. I know they do also have a Ramz Gold, which I'm not sure what that's cloning, but I believe this is the more popular brother of the two. But I'm very curious if you guys ever tried this one. What are your thoughts? Are you thinking about trying it? I say possibly go for it because it's so cheap, and if you love sweet bubblegum style fragrances, why not, right? Like this is the kind of fragrance if you're shopping online and you have to add something to get free shipping for like 15 bucks, this is the kind of stuff you add to the cart. Besides that, leave a like on the video, subscribe below if you guys haven't already, and you already know I'll see all of you back here in my next upload. Take care, everybody.